Are you having a fabulous, fantastic, frivolous, fun, and fantastic? Did I say fantastic already? Friday? It's a wonderful Friday. You know why? It's going to be almost 80 degrees today, and it is sunshiny. Yesterday it was warm, but the wind was blowing so much my hair practically blew off my head what I have left of it. But today it's not windy and it's sunny, and I'm going to get all of my plants out of the garage. All of my plants. I have parsley and rosemary, I've told you this before, and basil, and they are looking very sad after being in the garage for the winter. So I'm gonna, when Jerry gets back, I'm gonna have him help me move them to the backyard today. So I'm so excited. And today's reading subject has to do with that very thing. So this reading, I saw it and I went, oh, that's me. That's me. That's exactly me. I need that for me. So I'm going to read it for me. I haven't read all of it. I just looked at the first line and I went, oh, that's for me. It's my worst habit. Did I tell you the date? It must be the 25th by now, March the 25th. Let me see, Monday was the 21, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, March 25, 2022. And I'm Joy, in case you don't know me yet. I am Joy, and my husband is Jerry, and Jerry does Sunday school on Sundays. Y'all, Jerry studies for hours. Starts Saturday night, Sunday morning after church, he spends 3-4 hours making those Sunday school lessons for you. He's just so dedicated to telling it right and studying it to make sure he knows what he's talking about. So I'm so proud of him. I told him, I said, God's idea the whole time was for you to do this, not me. His plan was always for you to do it, but he knew you never would because you don't know how to do videos and you don't like to get in front of the camera and you're shy to talk to people. And so the Lord arranged it. So, you know, I stood there next to him for how many videos, and some of you said, why are you always standing next to him, staring at him? And I'm like, yeah, I wonder that too. But now, he's just doing such a great job. I am so proud of that man. So, let's start with page 169 in our Joy of the Journey book today. How about that? Finding good in every circumstance. Now, is that even possible? I mean, just the title. Finding good in every circumstance. What's good about what Russia's doing to Ukraine right now? What is good about that? You know, I can think of one good thing. Is that people are better in horrible times. When times are good and everybody's prosperous and there's plenty of food and everybody has a home and 2 cars and fur coats and diamond rings and whatever they want, they're not as good as they are in times of awful things happening around them and their neighbors being hurt and their friends being hurt. I've even heard the people say in Ukraine, we have united. We have come together. And I think that these young people have just gotten it in their heads that there's no such thing as war and nobody would ever bomb us. And they think we should do away with the military, do away with old weapons, and they could not be more wrong. So the one good thing I can see is maybe some people will wake up. All right, let's get back to today's little talk. Finding good in every circumstance. It's not your circumstances that shape you. They are outside you and beyond you. They can't really touch you. It's how you react to your circumstances that shapes you. That's between your ears, and that affects the real you. And what controls your reactions? Abiding in Christ and staying there. Then what if you find, for instance, a lump in your breast? How many of you have had that happen? I have. I've had it happen many years ago. Of course, you'll make a doctor's appointment immediately, but that's external. What happens within? Lord, nothing important has changed. You love me. Your eternal, perfect plans for me are continuing on schedule. I will praise you. I will worship you. I will rest in all you're continuing to do in my life. Now that was Ann Ortland from Disciplines of the Heart. Now I don't agree with her. I don't always agree with everything these people say. You know, people are different religions and they grew up different and different churches and different beliefs, different teachings. I don't agree with her at all. I think your circumstances have 100% of what becomes of you. Of course, how you react to your circumstances is important, but what if nothing ever happened in your life? What if your family always loved you? What if your sisters always loved you? What if your friends always loved you? What if you never had an emergency or something go wrong? And, you know, what if you're just one of those people who's just had the most perfect life and you've never been sick, you've never had to have an operation, your mother and your dad didn't die when you were a little girl? You know, what if? But then again, take the child. I had a girlfriend once. She had had the most unbelievably horrible childhood I have ever heard of. And I will guarantee you, my friends, it messed that girl up. And you know how you would know she was messed up? First thing she'd tell you when you meet her, I am messed up. You don't want to be my friend, you don't want to know me. I am messed up. And if you knew what she had gone through, just unbelievable. I, on the other hand, had a completely different lifestyle. And so I didn't grow up with the same fears and the same pain and the same heartbreak. As she, for instance, her father was not only married to her mother, he had another complete family. I don't know if he was married to both of them, but he had another wife and had kids with her. So he not only had them for a family, he had this other family for a family at the same time. 2 wives, 2 sets of kids, 2 homes. That's just one of the things. So many others way worse. So, anyhow, I think your circumstances definitely shape you. Definitely. I do not agree with this lady when she says they are outside you and beyond you. I don't agree with her at all. What about Dave Reaver? Y'all know Dave Reaver? Dave Reaver was in Vietnam. Dave Reaver was a handsome young man, had a lovely wife, and I believe he was a preacher. He was in the ministry, and he went over to Vietnam. He came back so deformed. He was burned very, very badly. It burned his face, terribly deformed. Burned his ears off, burned his hair off, burned his eyebrows off, burned his nose off, burned his lips off. I mean, it was just horrible. Now, do you think you can just say, oh, I'm not going to let this affect me at all? Dave Reaver, a lot of you may know him, a lot of you may have read his book. I think he's still alive. I think he's about our age. He was in the hospital with the other soldiers who had been badly, badly hurt, badly burned. And their wives came to visit them in the hospital. And he said, wife after wife after wife took off her wedding ring, threw it down, and said, I can't stand to look at you. I never want to see you again. His wife came in, bent over and kissed his face and told him how much she loved him and she would never leave him. And imagine the circumstances. Number one, the poor soldier's been deformed for life from this ridiculous war. And now he's lost the love of his life. He's lost his wife. Which one do you think would not be affected? They're both affected. Dave Reaver was affected because of his wife's love and commitment to him. The other soldiers just wanted to die, commit suicide, didn't even want to live, and a lot of them didn't. Yes, circumstances affect you, my friends. But in my case, well, what'd you say that was about you for, Joy? Well, the reason I said it was about me is because I told you before, I always make a mountain out of a molehill. I want everything to be perfect. I'm a perfectionist. And I want everything to be perfect. And if I make an appointment to do something, I'll be there. I'll be there early. I used to get invited back when I worked for General Electric, and I worked with a bunch of other girls, and they would have a Tupperware party, or they would have one of those parties where, you know, they sell pots and pans and stuff, or they'd have a Mary Kay party. I'd be there 20, 30 minutes early. I wanted to be there on time, and I was so worried that I might not get there on time. I was always there 30 minutes early. And so I just have to drive around the block. And I think, I can't go there now. It's way too early. So that's my personality. I'm just very plan ahead, do ahead, get everything done, make sure everything's in order, everything's right. And so when things aren't, when things go wrong, I have a hard time reacting properly to it. Not everything, but cases where you're trying to get something done and the people working for you never show up. Or like when we redid our shower and it was supposed to take 2 weeks and it took 4 months. And the man had to keep redoing it and redoing it and redoing it. We finally had to fire him and hire the next man. He didn't do it right. We had to hire the next man. Things like that just, what is wrong with this world? And so now I want to do some not remodeling, but I'd like to paint this room. We changed the carpet from blue to beige, and I don't like the yellow walls with the beige carpet. I would love to have the walls painted. We can't find a painter. So that frustrates me, and so I think, well, should Jerry and I paint the walls? Well, we're old, and we don't like climbing up on ladders, and we'd have to take that down and move this and move that, and we really just need to hire somebody to do it. And so things like that stress me. But things that stress me even more are when people lie to me. When people lie to me, oh, it really, really frustrates me. And if my kids say they'll do something and then they don't do it, or they say something to us and they don't really mean it, or there's just so many different things. Things like you get a door ding in your car, and so you take your car to some place to get it fixed, and you go and you pick it up, and it's worse than it was when you took it there, and so instead of leaving it there for 2 days, you have to leave it there for 2 weeks. You know, things like that, they tick me off and they get me upset. Regular everyday, like the day we had the fire. I don't think I've told you about the fire yet. One of these days I'm gonna. But we had a fire just a couple weeks ago. And I walked out and saw like the woods all on fire, and my husband running off to try to do something about it with a rake in one hand and a shovel in the other hand. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I was as calm as a cucumber. I was so calm. I was just so calm. Now, what was the difference? I think because I was in charge of what I could do. Jerry and I were in charge of the situation and what we could do about it. We didn't have to get on the phone and say, oh, our woods are on fire. Oh, can you please come right away? Oh, where's the fire department? Oh, why aren't they here? You know, while the whole woods burns down. Am I making any sense at all? It's like, I'm not like that all the time. It's just some things just get something that really, really, really gets my goat is when your computer breaks, or your telephone breaks, or some software doesn't work, or you have a banking problem and you need to talk to somebody, and you call, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait. 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and finally somebody comes to the phone, and you cannot understand a word they're saying because they're from India, or they're from China, or I don't even know where those people come from. But they're talking to you, you can't understand a word they're saying, you keep saying, I didn't understand you, I didn't understand you, I didn't understand you. And you talk to them for 30 minutes to an hour, then they finally say, I'm not able to help you, I've written this all down, you need to talk to so-and-so, so let me transfer you to so-and-so. And y'all know what happens next. What happens next? The phone call is disconnected. Oh, those kind of things. Jerry will come in and he'll say, what on earth is wrong, Joy? I'll be like, these people, where are they from? I can't understand the word they're saying. I've been on the phone for 2 hours. Okay. I told you I'm having a fun Friday. Let's read some scriptures about finding good in every circumstance. 2 Thessalonians 2:16 and 17. Now may our Lord Jesus Christ himself and our God and Father, who has loved us and given us everlasting consolation and good hope by grace, comfort your hearts and establish you in every good word and work. That's good. Proverbs 16:7. When a man's ways please the Lord, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. Revelation 22:14. Blessed are those who do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life and may enter through the gates into the city. All righty. Gonna let you go. Time for lunch around here. I'm off tomorrow on Sunday. Jerry will be back for Sunday school, and I'll see you on Monday.